Crystal clear waters, swaying palm trees, all-you-can-eat buffet at a luxury resort. Dave was living the dream while on vacation. This is the life. Suddenly, his phone rings. It's his friend Cobra. Cobra promises Dave the allure of divine sushi, which is an offer no man can refuse. This is the preface for the masterpiece of Dave the Diver. So there he goes, leaving his paradise island and catching a flight to go get some wonderful sushi, not a question asked. Originally announced as a mobile game to bring awareness to all the beauty of the ocean has and how it's slowly fading away, it was then subsequently re-announced in May 2022 as the first game by Mint Rocket. The concept of the game is based on an actual real-life restaurant on Jeju Island, South Korea's largest island, whose owner dives for ingredients during the day and serves them at night. Releasing 28th of June 2023, the game was showered in overwhelming positive reviews, and the game was selling like hotcakes. In April 2024, Dave the Diver plunged into PlayStation's game catalog, enabling us to try and receive a shiny new platinum. When we land, we find ourselves with Cobra in a boat. Cobra is surprised that Dave got here so quickly, and we responded by saying you've interrupted our holidays. The interruption was warranted, as we're actually on the giant blue hole, a mysterious location where the ecosystem changes every time. We go straight into diving and proceed to start fishing with our harpoon gun. When returning to the boat, we finally start talking about the wonderful sushi. Cobra lets us know he has a friend who is a sushi chef whose unique skills are unrivaled. The sushi that the chef uses is from the giant blue hole, a mysterious location which houses fish from all over the world and where the ecosystem changes every morning, afternoon, and evening. Perfect for a fish-related business. With such an enticing offer, all we need to do is keep diving for fish, which we accept immediately. Setting sail for the sushi bar, we meet Bancho, who is in the midst of preparing for the restaurant's opening night. Bancho instills the philosophy of sushi to us, which can be seen as the soul of Mother Nature herself. His dream is to bring the taste of Mother Nature to everyone. This dream is interrupted by an earthquake, which sadly leaves the sushi bar damaged, but the opening night will continue. Bancho informs us that 3 fish is not nearly enough for our opening night, as he asks us to collect 7 more for the evening. The sushi bar will only be opened in the evenings to enable Bancho enough time to prepare with meticulous precision. Diving back into the water, we quickly collect an additional 7 fish and return to the surface. As night falls, we wish Bancho a wonderful evening, until we find out we are also supposed to work during the opening hours serving up sushi to new patrons. To put things in context, we were pulled out of our vacation as we were promised sushi. Then we had to dive for the fish to make the sushi, and now we have to work at the sushi bar all in order for Dave to have some sushi. On the bright side, we are now in control of a cute sushi bar, controlling the menu that's served at night with the fish that is caught from our dives. We have to manage the food quantity to ensure sushi is served all night long and serve green tea to enhance our earnings. As we finish up our first night of business, we receive a recap of our top sushi earners. Additionally, we also receive a rating which indicates how our performance affected each night. To celebrate the opening, Bancho and Dave celebrate with a toast. Little did they know, a parcel boat crashed into some floating debris. To make matters worse, a giant tentacle appears to pull the boat into the giant blue hole. Our next day begins by receiving a call from Ellie. Ellie is a biology student who requests samples from the giant blue hole to study ecology. Dave isn't too keen to help Ellie, as she said we don't look professional enough, and demanding 2 of each sample as opposed to 1. Ellie offers a reward for the service, which catches Dave's attention real quick. And just like that, we have a new mission for us to tackle. As we dive into the water, we now start getting into the swing of things, collecting fish and any marine items that we come across. This is where we bunker into the extremely cozy gameplay Dave the Diver has to offer. The developers knew that there would have to be a subtle game mechanic in the background to keep players engaged. This comes in the form of a limited weight-based inventory system. When Dave is over-encumbered, we move super slowly as he struggles to swim his way to safety. This then forces us to monitor the other most important system, our oxygen, which slowly lowers after each second that passes, or in periods when Dave overexerts himself, such as swimming harder when carrying too much. Something grounded in real-life diving, but makes a great game mechanic. We end the dive with a legendary thumbs up between Dave and Bancho, and begin talking to Cobra. We note there's some pretty nasty looking fish in the deep blue. Cobra offers the solution: a gun. Naturally, this catches Dave off guard, but before we have a chance to think, Cobra calls his friend, the man, the myth, the legend, Duff. Duff asks Cobra who the goofy looking guy next to him is. Dave introduces himself to Mr. Duff as a professional diver, but comments what Duff said was pretty rude. Duff's response is commenting that divers were meant to be athletic and muscular. Duff agrees to assemble the gun for Dave if he brings one rope and one piece of scrap iron from the deep blue. I might add that Duff only agrees to assist due to Season 2 of Stella just coming to an end. As a side note, Stella is a mobile game made by the publishers of Dave the Diver, which has a banger of a theme song. With such an allure, we dive straight back in for our afternoon dive before working in the sushi bar. We quickly collect the required piece of rope and a scrap iron to complete Duff's quest, and we finish the dive by catching as many fish as possible to prepare for tonight's shift. With the weapon parts collected, we open our phone to utilize Duff's weapon shop app, which enables us to craft a basic underwater rifle. This isn't just any basic crafting process, as we see Duff put his absolute heart and soul into the crafting of our weapon. This then climaxes as we see Duff imitate the creation of Adam by Michelangelo. Ellie then proceeds to call us and give us our reward. When the window closes, we unlock our very first trophy, Undersea Gunslinger. Cobra is then filled with excitement as he realizes we've raised 100 coins to repair the sushi bar. We'll give him some time to complete the repairs and check in later. When we look to set the menu, we have the ability to enhance dishes. This enables us to receive more rewards per dish served. When performing the enhancement, we see one of the most beautiful pixelated cutscenes I've ever seen. After enhancing 4 more dishes, we unlock Culinary Master. We then spend the rest of our night serving up sushi and end up scoring 88 coins from the night. A very big thumbs up is justified, I believe. When we are preparing for another day of diving, we are introduced to Dr. Bacon. Dr. Bacon is an archaeologist who studies the Sea People civilization. Dave is obviously quite confused about this Sea People civilization, which means we have a visual flashback to this mysterious legend of a civilization that lived deep into the sea until environmental changes seemingly drove them to extinction. Dr. Bacon requests our assistance in locating an artifact from the civilization. Dave attempts to decline the request by saying we're too busy with the sushi bar. That is until Cobra gladly accepts the request. Cobra believes if we can prove the existence of an ancient civilization, it will drive up tourists to the sushi bar. We won't be working for free on this occasion, as Dr. Bacon offers to upgrade our diving suit. With this upgrade, we are now able to venture deeper into the deep blue hole, perfect for every wannabe diver explorer. With Dr. Bacon's departure, it signals the end of the prologue, as we also unlock better equipment. In our first dive for the day, we discover the Sea People artifact, and Dr. Bacon calls us to say he will be waiting when we surface. We then see the giant squid from earlier opening its eye at us. Dr. Bacon lives up to his promise as he greets us on the surface. Filled with excitement, Dr. Bacon says we will continue the search for the Sea People civilization together. We'll be in touch with Dr. Bacon soon. On more bright news, Cobra lets us know the restorations have been completed for the sushi bar. When I go to check out the repairs, we unlock Bancho Sushi is back. The lads now turn their heads to digital advertisement, with the sushi bar being in a fairly remote destination. Dave's solution is to download the Cookstar social media app. Now every time we have a happy customer, they will follow Bancho Sushi, which will further promote the bar. Prior to leaving, I start preparing the menu for tonight, and we witness the absolute best upgrading cutscenes as pure terror is on full display. As we dive into the deep blue, we are greeted by a dolphin. Dave believes we need to follow the dolphin. Thankfully, we did this as we find a trapped pink dolphin that we freed with our hunting knife. We then see some happy dolphin spins before they depart. In the evening, when preparing for another opening, we are interrupted by Miss Yoshie, who is a recruiter and has come to investigate the bar as she has heard about our sushi from the Cookstar app. It is revealed Miss Yoshie was a previous manager of Bancho, who she hasn't seen since he disappeared after being fired due to an incident. We're only given half details, but it appears Bancho was fired because he served up a deep-fried, whole roasted shark head to a customer. Miss Yoshie still believes it was a mistake for him to even try serving a dish like that, but Bancho says it's a dish with deep cultural history. Miss Yoshie wishes to put the past behind them and requests to judge the dish for herself, and then she would disclose the reason why she arrived. As Bancho's pride is on the line, he requests us to get the ingredients to make the dish, which means if we're going shark hunting,
you're gonna need a bigger boat.
The next morning, a wild paddle boat appears and a retired Ash Ketchum is revealed. Oh wait, sorry, it's Sato. Sato says the deep blue is the best way to collect Marinka, which is a Pokemon card-based system. I guess the deep blue has all the Pokestops. The good thing about Marinka is that we only have to catch the fish and we will automatically receive the relevant card. This is good to be aware of at this stage. But alas, it is time to hunt a shark. When we first come into contact with the beast, it hasn't noticed me. I look to make the first move, but couldn't get the aim locked in. This enables the shark to pounce. I respond with a quick shot, and the shark lands an equal blow. Another shot lands with a failed charge.
Hello there.
We counter by landing 2 shots. I was greedy on the second shot as the charge lands, with us having to perform a quick time event, which we fail. That sees poor Dave being gobbled alive. With 1 shot remaining, no oxygen left, I look to end things.
Smile, you son of a bitch!
After the grueling battle, I unlock Angry Shark. Prior to surfacing, we continued to investigate the depths, and thankfully we did, as we stumbled across a cave indicating signs of the ancient sea people. Dr. Bacon radios in, and sadly observes that there's a pile of rocks. A suggestion is made that we discuss with our friend Cobra. Cobra is here to the rescue and recommends using a bomb, which is of course what he recommends. Putting our explosives aside for the minute, we have to cook up our deep fried whole roasted shark head. Miss Yoshie absolutely loves the dish. As promised, Miss Yoshie reveals she wishes to help Bancho in the recruitment and hiring of new workers. The infamous dish of shark head caught wind on social media as our Cookstar app has leveled up to bronze, unlocking influencer. This is very similar to how we recently passed the 1,000 subscriber mark, so I'm officially dubbing ourselves a bronze influencer. Thank you to everyone for watching and supporting. But let's get back to the video. Miss Yoshie's recruitment comes in handy as we already had an applicant. We immediately hired Kyoko as a server. Prior to opening for the night, we are able to learn new dishes. Doing this 5 times unlocks Culinary Researcher. When opening for the night, Kyoko wastes no time in becoming the bar's #1 employee. Congratulations, Kyoko. Back to our part-time arms dealing. Cobra has successfully manufactured bombs for us, which will enable us to blow up the pile of rocks from earlier. Prior to our next dive, Cobra opens his shop for us to buy a whole bunch of different items. I believe this man may be running some sketchy arms dealing, utilizing the sushi bar as the money laundering business. Very sus. Dr. Bacon then preps our exploration dive by giving us a camera. After planting the bomb, we see the devastation explode. Entering into the cave, we find ourselves in the Sea People record chamber. We take a nice photo of the mural, then Dr. Bacon points out a Sea People artifact that he wants us to collect. Dr. Bacon comes and greets us on the surface, and he's a bit excited with the artifact. He proceeds to leave, and we're also paid a visit by the local marine environmental activist. John Watson is the name, and he's here to bite our head off about the explosion from earlier. Sea Blue is the organisation Mr. Watson leads, and their goal is tracking down those who pollute the deep blue. Mr. Watson leaves as he leaves us with an ominous stare as he departs the deep blue. That night in the sushi bar, we are also paid a very special visit. Yui, a presenter from the TV show Star the Chef, introduces Vincent. Vincent criticizes the restaurant because of the exotic and varied ingredients Bancho uses in the sushi, as it's a disrespect to tradition. Bancho, in response, promises to shock Vincent with a surprise sushi dish. He must come back in 2 days. Bancho's delicacy consists of sea grapes and jellyfish sushi, which of course means it falls on Dave to go and collect. The following morning, Dr. Bacon greets us to give us a deciphered bracelet that we're able to wear for a new ability. The Cookstar judges suddenly then arrive to carefully examine our soy sauces and food. We pass their examination with 41 points and a silver medal. Calling Duff, he reveals a limited edition figurine is missing. We agree to help Duff and look to find the sunken transport ship which we saw earlier in the game. When entering into our dive, we find our dolphin friends are being harassed. A fight breaks out between some pirates. After landing hits against 3 of the pirates, we unlock new undersea friend for completing the dolphins questline. The pirates take their bruised egos and head home, and the dolphins leave us a happy heart prior to swimming away. Exploring the depths, we find a sunken cargo ship. Duff is looking forward to receiving his Leah-chan until the squid takes the parcel. Duff will provide us with a gas cutter, so for now we need to return to the surface. When surfacing, we officially launch Operation Save Leah-chan. For our operation, we receive the gas cutter, and we look to face our most giant challenge yet. Returning to the cargo ship, we perform a cutting minigame and gain access to the ship. Finding the Leah action figure, a boss fight begins. Swimming in between the tentacles are land shots against the giant eye. Thankfully, we become prepared as Duff upgraded our weapon. It's no surprise then that another shot later, we conquer the sea monster. What remains is a very strange scene of 2 sea people emerging from the squid. Of course, Duff only cares about the Leah figure. We chop up parts of the tentacle, which grants access for the box to be collected, thus completing the rescue mission. When surfacing, Duff is over the moon to receive his new figure. As a reward, we receive a headlamp to enable Dave to continue exploring the deep. With our recently harvested squid, Bancho cooks it up and we hold a little celebrational dinner for the gang. We use this time to speak to Dr. Bacon and inform him we made visual confirmation of the sea people. Dr. Bacon, understandably shocked with this news, he starts theorizing that there might still be an underwater sea village.
Huh?
Dave does a little toast and ends the night by saying cheers to everyone. Watching from afar is our nemesis, former Navy SEAL turned Marine activist, John Watson. The following morning, Dr. Bacon appears to have celebrated a bit too much yesterday, as he's feeling a bit sick. He is, though, very excited for the moment Dave starts exploring the deep blue with the recently acquired headlamp. Dr. Bacon leaves us his vomit as a departing gift, and Dave is a bit disgusted we will now need to dive in vomit water. This is the opening to Chapter 2, Into the Deep. After taking the plunge, our nemesis John Watson comes swimming towards us. He wasn't too happy about our pollution of the ocean through vomiting. As such, he threatens to turn us into fish food and fires a grenade at us. As a rebuttal, Dave tries to point out the irony with Mr. Watson firing bombs and asks him to look at a massive commercial fishing companies as opposed to individual divers. This advice is ignored as a boss fight commences. We start firing away at Mr. Watson, and through a series of dodging and retaliation shots, we deal the final blow. Mr. Watson explodes a part of the marine floor and performs a tactical retreat. We continue diving deeper, and as we enter the depths for the first time, we unlock Deep Sea Diver. For now, I use an escape pod to return to the surface, as we need to upgrade our equipment. At the surface, our friendly paddleboat user comes to admire our brand new boss card that we received. The giant squid boss card, to be precise. Sato then lets us know our collection will expand with every new region we explore, and just like that, he leaves. With a brand new suit, we plunge back into the water. Following the signal, we enter into a very eerie cave. We encounter the sea people again, and they don't seem to appreciate our presence, as we observe them speak in their very own language. Calling Dr. Bacon for help, he suggests going back to the boat and try finding a way to translate what they say. So we grab an escape pod and emerge. Cobra immediately wants to tell the world about our discovery. Dr. Bacon provides some rationality by mentioning that poachers would be bound to show up in the event of news being leaked. Cobra sees the rational points, and Dr. Bacon calls for us to develop a translator. Prior to departing for the restaurant, we receive a call from Udo. He is a reporter from the weekly Fish magazine, and he seeks our assistance in taking photos to be published in the magazine. We will need to do this for the trophy photographer, which requires us to take 10 photos at dedicated photo spots. When returning to the sushi bar, we are ready to serve our VIP. At first, Vincent doesn't appreciate the jellyfish sushi, but Bancho reminds him to taste it instead. Absolutely astonished, Vincent can taste the sea. He grants us 80 points, and he criticizes the lack of romance in our sushi bar. To solve this problem, we receive a gift of a refrigerator, which enables us to start serving cold beer. Prior to opening the sushi bar for the night, we speak to a man who is reportedly causing a ruckus. His name is Otto, and he was a diver before he took a harpoon to the knee.
I used to be an adventurer like you. Then I took an arrow in the knee.
Otto expresses the diver's dream of swimming in all of the seas of the world. This reminds me of a certain straw hat pirate with a similar dream.
Bingo.
Getting back on topic, Otto wishes to eat a childhood dish again, a moray eel curry. The only problem is that the eels are nocturnal. To enable us to fulfill the wish of Otto, the game grants us access to night diving. The following morning dive, we find an octopus that sprays Dave with ink. We follow the octopus until it slips inside a cave. Utilizing our cutter tool, we go inside the cave, but before we go inside, we pick up a seashell. This marks 100 scraps collected, which unlocks Scrap Metal Collector. The octopus slips away, but as a consolation prize, we claim a new bracelet. In the evening, we went for our very first night dive. Diving at night is mesmerizing. Not only does the dark environment bring out the gloomliness of the plants, but we also find challenges with weird nocturnal sea animals and angry sharks. As the waters are so hostile, it forces us to start slashing away. We unlock Mr. Melee for catching 100 fish using our melee weapon. Taking on some long-spined squirrelfish, we fire a shot and reach the 300 caught fish milestone, unlocking Predator of the Blue Hole. After collecting the eel that we need, we return to the sushi bar to serve up some curry. With our sushi bringing Otto to tears, he invites us to meet him in the empty lot behind the sushi bar. The following morning, Otto gives us a fish farm. Now, every time we catch a fish, there's a chance that we might acquire fish eggs. It's a busy morning as our sushi bar is also inspected for a gold rating. Finally, enough time has passed and Dr. Bacon gives us a brand new translator for us to use. We make first contact with the sea people. It catches them by surprise that we are now able to use their language. Upon observation, he says Dave's body is unusual for humans. Swam asks Dave to go find medicinal herbs and making them edible for his friend Ramo, who was wounded by the giant squid. When arriving at the sushi bar, we have a unique visitor who speaks through a doll. Bancho speculates that it's a therapy method when children have been traumatized. It's pretty clear that she requests kombu and white trevally or chatsuke. With no other choice, we agree to serve the dish at a later date. The following morning, we ask for Bancho's assistance in making edible medicine. Providing the medicine to the sea people, Rama is now healed and asks for us to escort her to the sea people village. Unfortunately for us, we have to carry her on our back. The trip goes well when ignoring an earthquake and facing a shark attack. When catching up to Swam, he tells us that the path is blocked with fallen rocks. A proposed solution is freeing a pile of rocks that will generate enough force to clear a path. Dave comments that he requires better gloves in order to pull out the stake, which cues Dr. Bacon to chime in to offer assistance. For now, all we can do is return to the sushi bar. Thankfully, we had all the ingredients to serve the meal requested by the girl. The girl opens up and explains her name is Maki, and she's looking for her father who left to explore the depths. Maki gives us a bug net that will enable us to catch small fish that can't be caught in the harpoon. The following morning, Dr. Bacon provides us with very handy diving gloves. Returning to the sea people, we are now able to extract the stake, which sees rocks fall with minimal effect. Pulling out another stake sees enough rocks fall with enough force to clear a path forward. As we traverse the new depths, things start to get spooky. A new boss fight emerges. This eel attacks us from all angles, but once it occasionally gets stuck, we must hit the tip of its tail to deal damage. After we deal the finishing blow, we are able to harvest what remains for a big banquet tonight. Most importantly, the door to the Sea People's village opens, and we see the beauty of housing a colony deep underwater. We unlock undersea civilization for discovering the village. Turns out Ramo is the daughter of the Sea People's king. When the king notices us, he calls us a blue manatee. Ramo informs the king that she found out the reason for all the strange occurrences that have happened recently. Essentially, there's a divine tree which plays significant cultural and divine importance to the sea people. It is believed that with the technology humans can provide, the tree can be saved and the earthquakes can cease. The king informs us that the village will not accept help from humans. It now falls on to us to get the villagers' trust. This is the opening to Chapter 3, a request from the Sea People. Noting we helped the king's daughter, I received the gift of a magical mirror that will enable instant teleportation to the village from our boat. We arrive late at the sushi bar and decide to do a bit of cleaning up. Miss Yoshie walks in and the topic of the incident is raised. Prior to getting into the details, Miss Yoshie requires a beer. Things are getting serious. With a beer in hand, the story begins 12 years ago. We play as Miss Yoshie at the Dugong Hotel. The pinnacle moment lies with Lewis Crawford, a renowned actress, particularly with spy movies. The actress has a reputation for writing scathing reviews of the hotel she stayed at. To ensure things go off without a hitch, we need to speak to the chef, a young Bancho. Miss Yoshie needs to convince Bancho to abandon his avagant grande cooking style to satisfy the actress's taste and ensure a positive review. Bancho suggests having shark as the main meal. After much debate, Bancho eventually agrees not to serve the shark. Little did Miss Yoshie know their lives would change forever. Bancho decides to go rogue and serves up the whole roasted shark head to the actress, which leaves her absolutely mortified. The actress refused to even try the food and proceeds to storm out the hotel. After that, Bancho quit the hotel and left to go train. Miss Yoshie thanks Dave for the fact Bancho has changed as a person since they started working together. The next morning, we had to catch Dr. Bacon up on a few things. This of course leaves Dr. Bacon bamboozled. We agree the best course of action is to use the mirror and start networking with the sea people. This calls for a super amazing short side mission montage. We have to deliver lunchboxes to the gatekeepers, office flowers to a statue, catch seahorses, which unlocks the seahorse races, retrieving a kid's ball from the shark, finding a pet squid, a memory card game. This is all going great until Dave dives. Thankfully, Cobra comes to the rescue, unlocking Save Dave trophy. Returning to the king, he explains that the divine tree is at the center of the village and provides the village with energy. It is powered by a glacier, which is under the village, but sadly it is currently melting. Thus, as the temperature of the tree increases, more and more villagers are falling ill. It now falls on us to check out the glacial area. In order to get to the glacial area, we need a key, for which the king has misplaced. It is reminded that the key was placed inside the abandoned cave. It is now up to us to go fetch the key. One of our quests prior to surfacing is to assist Marky by collecting 5 of these translucent fish. After collecting the fish, we are promptly eaten and taken away by the ultimate translucent invisible queen fish. After a quick beatdown, we harvest what we can and notice a mysterious object. Dave notices that it's a photo of Marky. As such, we immediately return to the sushi bar. What came with the photo was an audio message recording of Marky's father saying his love and goodbyes to her. His final words were wishing Marky's dream of becoming a chef becomes real, and how he will always watch her from afar. Marky, thankfully, is taking this a lot better than me, as she offers to help in the sushi bar as a chef. Bancho likes her and immediately calls for her to start working with no special treatment. After Marky joins the staff, Otto enters the bar, which is shortly followed by Michael Bang. This VIP is a movie director who is in clear reference to the real Michael Bay. We now have 3 days to prepare food that will explode. Otto has conveniently been listening to the conversation and points out we need rice. The following day, Otto has prepared a farming ground for us to utilize. Essentially, we will now be able to visit each day to grow our rice for the sushi bar. But for now, it's time for bed. We find ourselves in our bedroom, although it's not our bedroom, as Duff starts walking out. Taking one final yawn, Duff falls asleep. Duff is now being transported to a mythical land. Where is this mythical land, you might be asking? A live concert of Stella! Duff knows what to do as he is called into action. In this dream sequence, we have an awesome rhythm music game which finishes with an absolute cheer. Duff gets a personalized heart which causes a heart attack until he wakes up. I absolutely love this game. This serves as an introduction to Chapter 4, Abandoned Cave. To prep for the glacial area, we ask Dave to upgrade our weapon again. When the upgrade is complete, we unlock Arms Craftsman. Swimming now to the abandoned cave, what we find is the sea people that have gone crazy. We don't stay for long, as after a quick puzzle, it reveals the key we require. After a mad dash for safety, we escape with our lives. That is, of course, until goddamn submarine enters the equation, piloted by the one, the only, Mr. John Watson. We now have another round of boss fight action. Hitting a home run from his grenade finishes this battle. We see John Watson's eco-friendly sea blue armor RX-93 fail as he flees to the sub in his underwear. Returning to the king with the key, we receive a beautiful history lesson on gardens. 800 years ago, gardens were a flourishing civilization which relied on advanced technology and the same divine fruits that nowadays give power to the sea people. An infamous person named Glacier synthesized the fruits to modify the anatomy of sea people and extract energy from the tree. To do so, he infused the energy from an ancient creature. Shortly after, those who were infused became what gardens are today. That night, we see Dr. Bacon start exploring a cave. Even more surprising, we are in control. After finding a brutal sight of humans hunting sea people, we loot an artifact and look to leave. We find that some pirates are waiting for us. Naturally, this leads to an epic chase sequence. The pirates have to abandon their ship, while we escape with the artifact, which is a breathing apparatus. Welcome to Chapter 5, Frozen Passage. Jumping down to the Sea People village, we are now able to utilize the key we found to open a door to the glacial passage. When entering into the new area, we unlock a dark and cold place. Navigating through the glacial passage, we hit the divine fruit to ward off any gardens. Utilizing the light from the divine tree, we are able to melt the ice blocking our path. If only we were able to adjust the mirror. For now, we will return to the surface and seek Cobra's help with getting the right tool. When speaking to Cobra, a crowbar is obviously what we need. Cobra ordered one, but sadly the delivery ship sank carrying it. Thankfully, we know exactly which cargo ship he's talking about, and with no giant squid, it should be a breeze. However, when it reaches night, it's a dark and stormy night, which attracts Sato to come and say hi. Sato lets us know on nights like these, super rare boss cards will likely appear. With no second guessing, we dive straight in. It didn't take long for us to spot what Sato was inferring. Traveling through the vortex, we find ourselves in a boss arena. Finding a submerged construction truck quickly turns into truck Hermit Crab. After dropping explosives on the Hermit Crab, we claim victory over the boss. That night at the sushi bar, we serve up the explosive dish to Michael Bang. The following morning, we visited the Sea People and spoke to Mima, who is the local sea village cook. Mima required assistance in getting back into the restaurant business, and after some help from us, she offers her speciality, seaweed dumplings. Dave tries out the dumplings and we get the dumplings in the water trophy. Traveling up to the delivery ship, we find the crowbar that we require. Showing it to Cobra, we are all ready to continue the main story. Until that night, we have a new VIP attend the sushi bar. Sammy the Rap Star is the name, and he is a big fan of vegetable sushi. Banjo asked for 3 days, and we will provide some divine vegetable sushi. Thankfully, our friend Otto has prepared garden beds, which will enable us to grow vegetables. Returning to the glacial passage, we use our new toy to continue forward. What we awaken is a gigantic beast, also known as a giant garden. Dave is found swimming in a flowing current as we avoid hazardous objects. Once escaping, we seal the entrance, locking the giant garden away forever. until the garden looks to take us with it. That is until our hero Swarm comes to the rescue. Activating a giant mirror together, Swarm informs us to head back to the village to find a way to withstand the cold. The king suggests we tailor our swimsuit lined with divine tree fruit. On our way back to the surface, we take a photo of a leatherback turtle, which unlocked photographer. This is due to us taking 9 photos previously of some awesome wildlife. That night on the deep blue, our greatest threat is about to be imposed. Welcome to Chapter 6, Melting Glacier. When Dr. Bacon makes his morning appearance, we are able to use the cloth from the divine fruit, the breathing apparatus from the Sea People's Cave, and the mechanical part from John Watson's suit to assemble the suit that we require. Sadly, the mechanical part is damaged, but Cobra has an idea, and he will reveal everything this evening. Suddenly, a new submarine appears. Mickey says hi. She says the disturbance last night was from a giant kaiju. Using Mickey's kaiju radar, we find the hideout for the one, the only, Godzilla. Thankfully, Godzilla is just resting, so we're able to set up a surveillance camera and leave him alone. That evening, when speaking with Cobra, he asks us to put on infiltration gear. What unfolds is a highly secret operation, which is heavily inspired by one of my favourite games, Metal Gear Solid. Sneaking through the base, we consume a ration, which unlocks Ration Eater. Suddenly, Dave is caught and improvises by jumping out a window, successfully escaping with the repaired part. When recovering from our Metal Gear mission, we serve up our vegetables to our VIP customer. After laying down the sick beats, Otto appears and a plot twist is unveiled, which explains the VIP is Otto's son. Thankfully, with the family reunited, Otto and his son would now work on the farm together. After closing up shop, Mickey rushes in to seek our urgent assistance. Taking control of the submarine, we end up battling a giant lobster to help defend Godzilla. After a grueling battle, one final missile forces the lobster to flee to the surface. Just as all hope was lost, the legendary and fearsome Godzilla surfaces. As I thought this game couldn't get any better, we are now able to control Godzilla in an epic kaiju battle. After landing a series of combos, we go in for the kill. With a claw ripped off, Godzilla unleashes atomic breath to finish the battle. Godzilla then leaves, marking the completion of the best free DLC I've ever played. Getting back to the original objective, Dr. Bacon has crafted the new suit for us. On our way down to the glacial area, we pull out a sniper, and on our 10th kill, we unlock Dave the Sniper. When utilizing the mirror to the glacial area, we unlock for making it to the glacial area, and I really just forced myself to sneeze for this trophy. In the glacial area, we have some hostile enemies such as narwhals, Greenland sharks, and porbeagle sharks. When finding an ancient stone tablet, we take a photo and look to return to Dr. Bacon. That night at the sushi bar, we welcome VIP, the Master Chef. Vincent also makes a return and a challenge to make a Chinese cuisine. In 2 days, we will assemble all of the ingredients for our very first cook-off. While cleaning up after a very busy evening, we hear a meow from our cat Momo. After multiple times of feeding the cat, we now sneakily follow Momo. We discover Momo has a family with a small kitten. When Momo spots us, he brushes up against us and we welcome the family at the sushi bar, unlocking Momo's secret. Dr. Bacon arrives and we show him the stone tablet. After working on our deciphering skills, it appears to be some sort of spell, which we will need to visit our sea people friends. When speaking to one of the sea people villagers, we help him rediscover a taste for sushi. As a reward, we are now able to grow seaweed and unlock Seaweed is Growing. It is confirmed we need to cast a spell to open a door, but as we don't speak the dialect of the sea people, we will need to bring our hero. With the spell cast, the door opens. By realigning a statue, we activate the first of 3 sigils to access the Divine Tree's control center. By reporting back to the king, we mentioned that we were unable to reach the control room as it is generating too much heat. We will have to activate the remaining 2 sigils to stabilize the temperature. There's nothing for us to do at the moment, so let's get prepared for a cook-off. After another ingenious minigame, we try and do our best to prepare ingredients while feeling the wrath of Cookie Mama.
Come on, you can do it. Come on, you can do it. It's okay, Mama will fix it. Come on, you can do it.
The final dishes is presented to Vincent. He takes a bite. Everyone waits in anticipation until Bancho is declared the winner. The master chef and TV crew then leave the bar as we conclude another day in Dave the Diver. The following morning, we speak to the local blacksmith, who we helped recover from an illness after his shop is reopened, and we unlock Feeble Blacksmith. Returning to the sushi bar, our friend Vincent is back with a new and final VIP, Alex the Fish Fryer. This round is in fact all a matter of frying. Bancho wants to fry a deep sea dish, despite it being quite ambitious. We'll go scouting for the ingredients. Finally returning to the glacial area, we take on a phantom jellyfish while riding a beluga. We then activate the second sigil. Then we take on a helicoprion, and once defeated, we are able to activate the final sigil, as we see the control room partially open. When we inspect the control room, we discover the roots from the Divine Tree are preventing us from entering. Suddenly, the infamous John Watson appears as we have our final battle. After taking a precautious approach and swimming away, John Watson prepares his final attack. That is until a massive dinosaur replaces John Watson as a new boss fight begins. Thankfully, Dave has some sense and realizes there's no way we are equipped to take down such a beast. That is until we spot John Watson's missile launcher. Picking up the launcher, we are now able to attack the dinosaur with missiles. Launching our final missile, we are able to defeat the Jurassic Beast. We think we have to continue on this daring journey all by ourselves. That is until a drone carrying a signal for Dr. Bacon and Duff appears. The drone uses its laser cutter to start cutting through the Divine Tree's roots. Dr. Bacon lets us know it will take 2 days for the laser to cut all the way through. Prior to leaving, we cut up a dinosaur and return to the surface, although the fog appears really red. As we point this out, the vessel from the masterpiece of the game, Dredge, appears. I won't mention the Dredge DLC any further, as this is already a beast of a video, but just wanted to make my thoughts clear that this is amazing. The following morning, I tend the farm, and when speaking to Otto, I expand the garden beds to maximum, unlocking my wonderful field. During the 2-day wait, we have our final VIP clash between Bancho and Alex the Fry Fisher. The 2 fried dishes are served and Bancho is declared the victor. As a gift, we receive the cocktail dispenser, which continues to keep the gameplay varied even this far into the game. From all our successes, the sushi bar's popularity has reached an all-time peak as we officially platinum Cookstar rank, unlocking a Bancho Sushi regular. I also feel very targeted as Bancho posts about achieving the Platinum Trophy. We're nearly there, lads. That night, Vincent is determined to see us lose as he brings Lewis Crawford to the sushi bar, the very same actress from the incident 12 years ago. It appears the actress has had a serious taste of karma, as her career started to decline after a review of the hotel, as many called her close-minded. Pastro, the soul of Italy, is introduced as the actress's champion who would defeat the evil Bancho. In 2 days, the pair will square off, with the theme being pasta. The following morning, Dr. Bacon calls us to inform that the routes have now been cut through and is ready for us to explore. Welcome to Chapter 7, Broken Control Room. Thankfully, we will be prepared for our final mission, as I collected all blueprints, unlocking Weapon Collector. Making it to the control room, we find the roots have severely mutated, and it also houses Anomalocaris, which is a roughly 500 million year old predator. Outside the core of the tree, we find Anomalocaris have embedded their eggs onto the roots, making it an epic slaughter as we must proceed. Making it to the core, we find that Anomalocaris are eating the core. Dave theorizes this could be the reason for all the environmental disturbances. Once the core is stabilized, a huge divine creature appears. Dave tries his best Homer Simpson impression, and then Dr. Bacon's drone appears. Dr. Bacon believes this creature is Yahweh, the very same creature that altered the Sea People's DNA. Thankfully, Dr. Bacon and Duff are legends as the drone switches to attack mode, which means we are ready for our final boss fight. Filling a barrage of oxygen bullets, Duff also has equipped a time manipulator, enabling us to dodge via slowing down time. Duff calls in saying he will be removing the limiter. Understandably, we're a bit annoyed this wasn't done from the very start. On the bright side, we have access to what Duff has called Stellar Laser. Utilizing the laser, the divine beast is put to the back foot, which forces us to chase to put a stop once and for all. We quickly find out that a cornered animal is when it is most dangerous, as we find ourselves being the one chased. Making it to a dead end, we fear this is the end. We dodge the beast's fatal breath, then we dodge its pounce, as everything fades to white. The beast has tangled itself, providing an opportunity to end things. Utilizing the Sea People's assistance, we arm a laser, which is a direct hit. When we think we have ended things, we unlock Creature Hunter for defeating every boss in the game. Returning to the king, we find the environment has been restored, as well as the divine fruit. When we surface, we begin the Epilogue, Friends. We arrive at the sushi bar and find all of our friends have joined us for a drink, as well as sushi. Taking a celebratory toast, Udo takes a photo to mark the occasion. Some fireworks go off in the distance as our Sea People friends watch from afar. Duff receives a new figurine, which makes him very happy. And we are getting a statue made in our honour in the Sea Village. Maki's training is coming along very nicely. And we are still diving to make Dr. Bacon very happy. Vincent finally admits defeat to Bancho, and Sato receives wind of our newest boss card. Otto, Cobra and Ellie are sharing beers until Cobra's phone rings. Dave then turns out his light and heads to sleep after a big day. The Mint Rocket developer rocket ship then takes off and we find ourselves as Dave in space. This makes for one of the most unique end credit sequences as we are able to destroy the developer names for a trophy, Dev Killer. Once the space sequence concludes, the developers thank us for playing and we see Cobra's phone call from earlier, seemingly hinting at more to come. Once the cutscene concludes, we unlock a peaceful blue hole. We do have some unfinished business as we look to conquer the pasta and take down Lewis Crawford. When the dishes are being presented, our pasta will surely see us to win. Everyone waits in anticipation until Bancho is declared the winner. Lewis Crawford does the unthinkable and tries our pasta. This takes her back to her previous days as a massive movie star. This moves her so much that a tear is brought to her eyes. The former movie star then apologizes to Bancho and they move on from their differences. Truly a striking moment. She then makes an abrupt offer to open a branch of our sushi bar. The following day, we visit the branch and discover we can hire more staff to run a passive restaurant each night. Such a cool concept. When the tutorial is complete, we unlock Manager. We then look to experience everything the game has to offer, such as expanding our rice paddy to its maximum, unlocking my wonderful rice field, or selling over 200 items, unlocking Blacksmith Helper. I also didn't know how it took me this long, but I purchased my first decorative item, unlocking Shops Looking Good. Returning to Otto, we also saved up enough to purchase sprinklers, unlocking Professional Farmer. Speaking to Dr. Bacon, we present each of the Sea People's murals, unlocking Sea People Historian. At this point, Bancho has also become pretty goated, as his skills were unrivaled. When he finished researching 30 new dishes, we unlocked Artisan's Flame. We also can't forget about Momo's adorable kitten, as feeding cats 20 times unlocks Catman. Also, our inspector's friends pay us one final visit and officially grant us maximum Diamond Cookstar rating, unlocking Cookstar Influencer. One awesome minigame I've failed to mention thus far is Gyal. This minigame is introduced by Sato and is heavily inspired by Tamagotchi. We are able to level up a Gyal, and doing this 5 times unlocks Gyal Master. Exploring the glacial area, a super rare weapon spawn can occasionally be Thor's hammer. Using the hammer to defeat a Greenland shark unlocks God of Lightning. Another mechanic I haven't mentioned earlier is Fishmon, which is introduced by Udo. These fish are very different cosmetically from others a part of their species. When catching 5 of these, we unlock Fishmon. And for our final trophy, we level up Maki to the maximum rank, unlocking Leadership. And with all other trophies unlocked, the Platinum, the best diver, has been achieved. And that brings us to the end of our Dave the Diver adventure, at least for now, as the trailer for Dave the Diver in the Jungle was released in the Game Awards 2024. If the DLC features trophies, let me know if you'd like me to take the plunge again and get the 100% completion. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video, and until next time, this is Norenity, and I'll see you on the next one.